Okay, yeah, hi everyone. So in this session, we are going to discuss about um, which is another service which is really helping you to build the event-driven architecture, which is Event Bridge. Okay, so it's a kind of uh, dynamic service, the dynamic event handling service. So any service, any AWS resource can trigger any events. Okay, so and then through the event bridge we can capture the events, and then we will restrict the event details also, which kind of events it should be captured. That's rule also we can set it up, and then we will send the events to the particular target, the consumer service also we can send it. So that is the purpose of using event bridge. So it will act as a intermediate service. It's a kind of bus bridge. Okay, it will help you to send the events to the from producer to consumer. So that is the purpose of event bridge. So it's mainly playing a pivotal role in event driven architecture. Okay, so now let's in this session we are going to discuss about the basic key concepts of event bridge. Okay, and then how to build the event bridge rule. So and then what are the core features, its services it's providing it. And then another part we have a demo session to receive the S3 events and process the events in Lambda. Is everything is the entire architecture, it will uh, happen with help of event bridge rule. So that is what we are going to do it. Okay. So now let's discuss about event bridge role key concept. Okay, so events we already know about. Whenever there is new action is happen within the any AWS resources, that we are considering as events. Like if I uploaded the files to the S3, it's a kind of put object or create object events. Okay, so that's we are calling as a events. It's a kind event is a signal that change the occur that the change has occurred in the newer environment. It could be a state change or actions taken in AWS services or an event in your applications. It kind of any actions. Okay. So and then what is the another component we have? Which is event bus. Okay, event bus is a pipeline that receives the events and routes the events to correct targets based on the rule. Okay, that is the simplest explanation about this event bridge rule. Okay, so it's a kind of various types of event buses. It has default event bus automatically created in your account, receives the events from the AWS services, which is default. Custom event bus create and receive the events from your application to other accounts. That's also we can do. Partner event bus also we can create it, which is receives the events from integrated SaaS platforms. So that's also we can do it. Okay, so and then what is the another concept we have, which is the rule act as a filter that determine which events to be routed to the specific uh, targets. You in your AWS resources, if there are lots of events will be generated. Okay, so when the I just want to trigger the Lambda or particular service when the particular event should happen. Okay, so that kind of filter options we can create it with the rules. Okay, so and then the targets would be anything. Targets are the services resources that are invoked when the event rule even match their rule. Okay, so it can be anything. There's targets would be anything. AWS Lambda functions, step functions, SQS queues, SNS topics, EC2 instance, API gateway. Okay, it can be any kind of target groups. Okay, so now let's talk about rest of the features. Okay, so the event sources are we are telling us here our AWS services which producing the events. Okay, that's called event sources. Okay, it can be AWS services or custom applications or SaaS platforms also. It can be anything. Okay, so AWS services, there are types of event sources, the AWS services, custom applications, SaaS platforms. Okay, so it's also providing schema registry. Schema registry allows you to store, manage, and discover your events in your event bridge. Okay, so that will help you to manage your events. Okay, schema discovery, when the particular event it happens, so schema discovery will schema registry is generally uh, manage your events. Okay, schema discovery, it will find out the events which matches with your the particular rule. Okay, so automatically infer the structure of the events flowing through the event bridge and store them into the schema registry. That is the purpose of schema registry. It's doing it. So the next one, the event patterns. Event patterns are just like a JSON. It is event patterns. We are set our event patterns in our rules. Okay, event patterns on just JSON based filters used in rules to match the specific events. Okay, so that is what we are doing it with event patterns in event rule. Okay, so even archives also we can do it. Allows you to store a copy of the events processed by event bridge rule for the future reprocessing. So that's also we can, when the particular events it's happened, I can archive it. So when the again the I can reprocess the events. So that purpose also we can do it. And then the replay. So event replay, it's I already archived some of the events. So I can just process it again. Okay, reprocess the events to store it in the archive. So that is the purpose of using event replay. Yeah. Okay. So what is another service is we can set up dead letter queue when the particular event is not processed or received not properly. So the failed event processing, we can send it to the dead letter queue. So when after some amount of time you can connect with this queue and then get the failed events and then you can process it. So to avoid the data loss, so we can use dead letter queue. And then permission wise, so we can set up policies, even with access resource policies also we can set, and IAM roles policies also we can set it. Okay, so it will help you to restrict which service can send the events, which service can receive the events. So that's also it will help you to do that. Okay, control the IAM roles or policies, control access to event based resource such as event bus rules and targets. So yeah, so that is what it is. And then it's providing global service, global event bus. Event bridge supports global event routing to across the various different regions. So okay, so if you are receiving events from one regions, if you want to send the events to some other region resources using global event bus, you can do it. Okay, so that is the service. And then to monitoring and logging, we can enable by default, it has CloudWatch metrics, CloudWatch logs, it's enabled by default. So and then that is the purpose of that, is through that we can monitor and logging the events and everything. Okay, and then service quota is also that, like how much the limitations of you creating the events for the particular event bridge. So that's, so there is some limits. If you want to increase the limits, you have to raise the request. Okay, that we have to do it for the particular account, the particular region, that we have to do it. So yeah, that's all about the basic concepts of event bridge. And now let's move to the demo part. So in this demo, we are going to upload the file to S3. S3 will send the events to event bridge. Okay, in event bridge we have a rule to restrict, like when the particular it will only capture when the particular new file is created, new file is added. So it will capture the events and then it will send the events to Lambda. So that is what we are going to do it in the demo part. And then it's everything we are creating by AWS CDK. Okay, so now let me share my screen again with the Visual Studio Code. I hope my screen is visible. Yes. So okay, let's go through the code first. So first we are creating the S3 bucket. Okay. So line number 29 to 33, and then we are enable event bridge enable. So it will send the events to event bridge. So that is the options we have it here. And then we are creating S3 tag public put object tagging permissions. Also we are creating the permission, and then create Lambda function. We are doing it. Lambda function, we are creating it, and then add the permission S3 object tagging policy permission to Lambda. Okay, and then we are just creating the rule, event rule. So when there is new object is created in this bucket, okay, new object is uploaded in this S3 bucket, this event rule will trigger. Okay, So I'm adding the target, which is my Lambda, processing Lambda. So I'm just displaying the ARNs, the each service ARN, just I'm displaying it. That's it. So this is how we have to configure our event rule with S3 and Lambda. So now let's check the Lambda code. So it's Lambda code just receive the events from event bridge rule, which is a CloudWatch event rule, and then previously it was considered as a CloudWatch event rule. Now they changed the name to event bridge. Okay, so the object can use the same object, and then it will send the we are just marshalling and then unmarshalling, and then we are getting the message, and then we are just displaying that. So that is what we are doing it. Now let's deploy this service. So CDK send. So it will create the CloudFormation template, latest changes. So and then CDK deploy. But ask the permission to ensure the resources are correct. Okay, fine. Now the resources are deployed. Now let's go to the AWS console. So we need a processing bucket here, and then we are just and then we need a event rule, event bus rules we can keep. So we are just adding the bucket name. So and then send the events to Lambda. Okay. So now we are going. Let's see the Lambda. Event bridge function. So it yeah, getting the events from event bridge. So now let's upload some files. So I just close it in my monitor. So the CloudWatch logs. Yeah. So here I can see the latest one. So yeah, so this is received the event bridge event received, and then this is the file it's being processed. It's actually uploaded so that we can process it in our Lambda. Okay. So that's all about the event bridge rule. Uh, that's all about this session, how to use the event bridge rule to build your event driven architecture. Okay. So yeah, that's it, guys. So we will see you in the next upcoming sessions. We will discuss it. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, everyone.